Welcome to So Many Whatnots. I'm Willow, and this is my channel where I share about my quilting and sewing. I am a quilter from South Central Pennsylvania, and nope, that's it. First off, if you enjoy what you like in my videos, if you could like and subscribe, that would be so helpful. So let's get started. Today is Monday, December 1st, and this is my 6th episode of my quilting vlog. And just a few updates. We had our first snow of the season this week, and we all got sick again. So, you might be able to tell I'm still sick. And one of my sons is sick, and so I actually got a lot of quilting done over the weekend. We came down with something, well, my son started feeling sick Wednesday, and then was pretty much okay Thursday, and then kind of went downhill from there Thursday evening, Friday morning, and then I got sick throughout the day Friday. It started hitting me. So, yeah, so I sat on the couch and got a lot of sewing done. Now we did go to Thanksgiving at my parents' house, which was fun. But yeah. So that's kind of the updates I have. It's not much because we didn't really do anything because we were under the weather and it was a holiday. So I'm going to jump right into acquisitions. This week I did a lot of online shopping, but I don't have most of that yet. So I will share that probably next week. Although you'll hear a little bit about some of the things I bought throughout this vlog, because some of them are important to what I'm going to talk about today. Oh, and real quick, so Missouri Star is having like all these flash deals every half hour today for their Cyber Monday, and I found the best thing. I am going to show it to you. Oh, maybe. Okay. And this is 118-inch 3-yard wide back by Henry Glass. And Henry Glass, a very good quality fabric. And I got that for what? Let's see, it's a 3-yard cut for $37, and it's normally $74.95. And it's great because it matches perfectly the quilt I'm working on for my youngest, which has all these, well, let me put the whites down. It has all these blues. And so it's the perfect backing. I did not have a backing in mind for this yet. And so when that popped up, I was like, well, I have to get that because it matches perfect, and you can't beat that price for wide backing. So that is one thing that I just got. So now let's move on to what I actually got this weekend. Okay, so first of all, Amazon had some of the quilt books that I've been wanting, really like almost half off. So I'm going to start with a few books I picked up. Now I bought 4 books total, but I only got 3 from Amazon. I was able to get, last week I read a list of quilts that I want to make. Basically my quilt bucket list. And on there was Dear Jane. And so I found the book from duckadilly.com, which is a Liberty fabric supplier in the United States. And they had the book, so I ordered that. I'm not sure when that will ship and when it will get here. And I'm not sure I plan on making it this year. I might. We'll see what happens because I got more sampler books. Okay. I've also talked about Alice Caroline and Liberty Fabrics, and I love her stuff. So I was able to get the Alice's Wonderland Sampler Quilt, 100 Quilt Blocks to Improve Your Sewing Skills by Alice Caroline. And this is a wonderful book. I did look through it. And it really does start with simple blocks and very good instructions in the beginning. So, like in the beginning, you have the Amish bar, the rail fence, 9-patch, and checkerboard, which are just, you know, simple things that a lot of us already know. We already know the 9-patch. But it gives real detailed instructions. And then towards the back, you get into more difficult things, like these that have curves, and there's applique, English paper piecing, just a bunch of super cute stuff. And then it gives you the layout and stuff in the back on how to do it, how to put the quilt together, which most books do. Borders. Quilting methods. Oh, that's cool. So this I'm really excited about. Now, I would like to make this all in Liberty fabrics. So this will not be something I make right away, or it'll be something I work on as I collect Liberty fabrics, which keep that in mind. Okay, and then I picked up two more samplers. And so the first one is the Farmer's Wife Sampler Quilt. And this is letters from the 1920s and 111 blocks. Now, it also comes with a link to a website where you can print off templates. And so this is really cool because it has like a block and it has a little letter from a farmer's wife. I believe it was a magazine. Let's see. And they made a call and offered prizes for letters. In 1922. Okay. Yeah, so this is the one for the 1920s. And then on the back, you can see how the quilt comes together, a little more about the blocks. This one I will make. This one I would like to make in reproduction, Civil War reproduction fabrics, actually, or like Kim Deal fabrics, you know, something like that. So I know it's from the 20s, but a lot of those fabrics look very similar to reproductions. So I'm going to collect fabrics for that and the Dear Jane. They'll both be probably similar fabrics. So that's going to take me quite some time to collect. I'm having a little trouble finding Kim Deal fabrics in pre-cuts right now. Her last collection, Scrap Basket Favorites, and there was one, I want to say something with maybe Grace in the name. Those were really pretty and had a large variety. She has one out right now that is mostly green and reds, and not for what I am looking for. I love the scrap basket favorites. So if I could find some of that, I would probably pick that up. And then she has a new one coming out. I didn't write it down because I hadn't planned on talking about her fabrics. Oh my goodness. I want to say it's something about flowers or plants or something, and that's coming out real soon. And then, so I plan on getting that one. But I like to buy the pre-cuts because there's a little bit of everything in the collection. And then, you know, I can use multiple collections for the sampler quilts. And then I don't have to go through and say, okay, I want a half yard of this, a quarter yard of this. You know, I get it all in one bundle. It's so much easier, and I make sure I don't miss anything. And I always have scraps left over. And well, scraps are awesome. So, let's see. And then I got this one. And this one ties into some of the shopping I did. Okay, so first off, we'll look at the front. Now this is from the Great Depression, the 30s, and there are 99 quilt blocks, and there are letters in this book too. And on the back you can see that one is set on point. That'll be fun. And another thing I noticed is these bottom blocks, the half blocks, are the same as the top. So that's fun. So I'm excited about this one, and we'll talk about it again soon. Okay. Now, the funniest thing happened. Because I got sick, I couldn't go to one of my local quilt shops for their customer appreciation sale on Saturday. And I was really bummed out, and I was going to have my son take me because I don't drive anymore. And so I was going to have him take me, and he was dreading it. He's like, oh gosh, do I have to? It's break. I don't want to go. You know, I'm like, whatever. So I get sick, so I can't go. And I told him, I said, hey, I got good news for you. You're free today. You can do whatever you want. You don't have to go. And then I said, but if you want to, I'll give you $20. And he said, deal. And so my 18-year-old sports-loving son went to a tiny little crowded quilt shop by himself, and he FaceTimed me while he was there, and we did some shopping together on FaceTime, and the ladies were so helpful as usual, and he checked out. And he went to his truck, still on FaceTime, and he says, Mom, I have never been so intimidated by a bunch of old ladies in my whole life. And I lost it. It was great. Because, you know, the quilt shops usually have a lot of people in it. But, you know, when there's a sale, they all come out. We all come out to the sales because fabric's expensive. And if we can get 20% off, we're going to go buy the things. And so it was funny. There must have been all ladies in there that day. There's another one I go to that there's a couple guys who quilt that are usually there. But, oh, it was just, the way he said it, you had to be there. Mom, I've never been so intimidated by a group of old ladies in my life. Oh, it was classic. And so you can just imagine an 18-year-old teenager walking around a quilt shop of a bunch of quilting ladies. And it's a small shop, and it is packed full. So I can imagine how crowded it was and how awkward he felt. But he did so good. When he got home, I said, well, was it worth the $20? And he said, absolutely. Hi, Katie. Let's see if we can, come here. You say hello. Put your head up. Come on. Yep. Hello. Hello. Okay, all gone. All right, Katie came to say hi. Let's see here. Get that back. She is trying to get upstairs. Okay, so what I got there, she had some little kits for Alice Caroline and Liberty fabrics, which they have never carried before. And like I said, Alice Caroline and Liberty, it's really hard to find over here in the States. And of course, I could order from Liberty or from Alice Caroline, but with the tariffs right now, I'm just worried I'll get hit with some kind of big fee or something. So I haven't ordered any. I would really like to order that flower garden quilt kit, but again, I don't know. I wish somebody had it here. So anyways, they had these little packs of 5-inch squares, and there's 20 squares in a pack. They're so pretty. And so then they also had kits, just a few like pillow kits or something. I think they were pillows or bags or something, but where I want to do her sampler, I picked these up. And I was looking around. They don't carry any Civil War reproductions. And so I was like, well, I need something for one of my quilts. And he was just walking around showing me. And then one of the ladies was like, oh, well, we have these Liberty fabrics. And I was like, whoa, Liberty. Yes, go. Look at the Liberty. And so, yeah, these. They also had a pack of blues. I want to say pinks or reds. But I really like the colorful, really colorful. And I plan to make a very colorful Alice's sampler. What's it called again? Alice's Wonderland sampler quilt. And it's not much. It is only 40 5-inch squares, but it's a start. So I'm really excited about these. All right. Then I got a little pattern as a free gift. And I really like this. And I have been throwing around the idea of making a quilt for Quilts of Valor, or Valor, Quilts of Valor. And I thought this was really cute. So when he was showing me the patterns for the free gift, I saw that and was like, oh, that's the one. So I'll have to get fabric for that. And since it would be a donation quilt, I would probably do it on the machine. And then either machine quilt or big stitch quilt it. So that's super cute. And then I wanted to try some new pins. And somebody had made a comment. If I had found pins I love that were sharp, didn't pull fabric, I haven't, I just have the regular, the regular pins, like these. And, these, just the regular things you buy at the big box stores. Nothing special. And so I thought, I would like to try those magic pins. And so I bought some. And I already opened them. And I wanted smaller ones. Now, these say silk pins, 1 7/16 inch, extra fine. And I really wanted something that was shorter for hand piecing because those big ones are just kind of a pain. So I bought some, and they come in this little case, and they're adorable, and they're amazing, and they work really well. And I love how thin they are. Now it's going to be really hard to see. Or you can kind of see. Maybe. Let me get out another one to compare it to. I wish I had something to... Okay. Now I'm going to put these up, and you should be able to see the difference in size. Okay. So that top one is a regular pin, and the bottom one is the magic pin. Oh, and it is really hard to see those. But I think it looks like you should be able to see just enough to see the difference. Also the length. It's going to be really hard to... Yeah, no. The length, it's about the same, but the actual pin part is shorter. So it's really hard to... There. So you can see the actual metal part of the pin is shorter. So it actually acts like a shorter pin, even though the overall length is the same. And I love these. These are great. So I put all my other pins back, and I put a bunch of these in my case. So now my case has none of the pins with the little ball, but they will be full of magic pins because, yeah, highly recommend. I could show you, well, that might give away a little secret. It's not really such a secret right now. Okay, I also picked up some dressmaker pins before I realized they're nickel plated steel, and I'm going to try them, but if you remember, I had said I am allergic to something, either dyes in yarn or needles and crochet hooks. So I believe it's a nickel that some people are allergic to, so we'll see. But I think I'm going to try these also. And those are dressmaker pins. And they look like really tiny little nails. So yeah, I'm going to try those. I think I saw them recommended somewhere for hand piecing. So, and then I got another pair of little mini snips. I love these scissors. They're the greatest thing in the world for quilting because they're so little. Okay, so that is all that stuff from my son's solo trip to the quilt shop. Okay, so as for acquisitions that I have in my possession, that is all I have. So moving on to progress, I worked on 4 quilts this week. First off, I have not started. I have to move some things. I have not started my saltwater sampler yet. And I really need to get this started. I had planned on doing it this week, and then I got sick. So I have not done this. I'm thinking this week, perhaps, I will cut out all the pieces for this. And I may or may not start on that today. We'll see how that goes. So that is on my to-do list and my didn't make progress list. The next one is my son's puff quilt, and the bin is growing. Now, I didn't do a whole lot. Whoops, I dropped one. I didn't do a whole lot because as I was sewing these, I started to get symptoms. So I worked for maybe an hour or two on these. And by then I was ready to go lay down. So while I was working on this, I kind of got the onset of the sickness. So what I have left there is about 1.5 packs. So I took the charm packs. All right, I took the fabric out of the charm packs. And so this is the one I was working on when I got sick, and this is a full one. So I'm almost done sewing the little pouches. And I have showed it before, but if you don't know, a puff quilt, you make these little pockets. And so I am sewing 400 of these together. And I'm hoping it doesn't make too big of a quilt and that my math did what it was supposed to and mathed correctly. If that's, yeah, we're going to go with that. So yeah, I think 400 of these. So, I had 10 packs. I took 2 out of each pack because each pack has 2 of every pattern, but 2 of them have 3. So I took 1 of each of those so that it's just 40 instead of 42. And then they each have 2, and there's not extra in there, just a little quirk. So 10 packs, and I have 1.5 left. So I'm actually, despite everything, made pretty good progress on this. That will get put aside for now probably because it is now December 1st and I have 2 things I need to finish. I need to start and finish the Laguna Sunrise saltwater sampler. And I need to finish the Georgetown in, I want to say 3 weeks, I think it is. I think I have 3 weeks left. So let's talk about Georgetown next. I am so excited, and I brought it upstairs this time. Because last time I had one of my quilty friends said I was on the struggle bus last week. And yes, oh my gosh, I was struggling like so bad. It was, oh, if you watched that episode, I appreciate you because it was brutal. But that's real life. So, you know, with the brain fog I get, sometimes that's what you get. But yeah, I went back and watched it. And it was kind of funny. I made myself laugh. I literally cracked myself up because the fog was real foggy. So Georgetown, yay. Okay, so before I show you Georgetown, I want to say that I did more math, and I'm not good at math. I have been getting about 9 stitches per inch. I am now in the phase of trying to get as many stitches as possible per inch. Oh, that's another thing. Sorry. I totally forgot. I had my son pick up some size 11 quilting needles. And let me just show you the comparison real quick to the 10s. See if I can get that without a glare. Ooh, okay. So 11s and 10s, and they are quite a bit shorter than the 10s. And I learned on 10s, I always use 10s, and I thought I would use try 11s or 12s, and I really like the 11s, but I can only do 2 stitches at a time with the 11s because the 3rd stitch, for some reason, I always keep going through real hard and just going straight into my finger. So, normally when you quilt, you get kind of a, I don't think you can really see, but it's, it's fun. It's like you get a pad, almost like a guitar player. Anyways, I kept stabbing myself. So I can only do 2 stitches on that. And my stitches aren't as even, but I would like to work with them and see if I can get a little better and consistent with a smaller needle. Otherwise, the 10s are just fine. I can get 3 stitches on them without having to use a needle puller, depending on the needle. Now, the John James don't slide through as well as the Colonials. And so I think I only have a couple Colonials left. So those I can use my finger to pull through. The John James, they're stickier almost. I don't know how to describe that. They don't go through as smooth through the fabric. And so I do need to use a needle puller or do 2 stitches. But I really like to do 3 or 4. And so yeah. Anyways, so I had him pick those up. I am working with those a little bit. What else was, okay. So I am almost halfway through this quilt. By the end of today, I will be halfway done. And that's huge because I need to get it done in 3 weeks. And there's only so much quilting you can do before your hand just needs a break. And so I did the math, like I said, and I estimate I will have approximately 80,000 stitches, hand quilted stitches in this quilt when it's finished. That's a lot of stitches, 80,000 stitches. And that doesn't include, the partial fans on the edges. So I don't know, maybe 100,000. It's a lot. It is a lot of stitches. Okay, so let me show you. And I'm not sure if you'll be able to see on the camera, but I want to show you the back first, because I really like how it looks, and I really hope you can see how it's turning out. Maybe. I can't tell if you can see that. Okay, when I go to edit, or when my son goes to edit, we'll see if we can see that. My youngest has been wanting to edit my videos, and last week we did that video together, and both laughed at me. And so this week he's gonna give it a go and see how it turns out. So okay. It's pretty wide. But here is Georgetown. And you can see I did switch the pencil on this. But I love the Baptist fans. And I really love how it's turning out. Okay, so this is the, nope, not that one. Which one do I have to finish? It's over here. Okay, so I am back. I got interrupted a little bit by my oldest waking up. It's noon. They have off school today. So he came downstairs. Okay, so Georgetown. Wow, halfway. I'll be halfway done this evening. I believe I have like 6 or 7 fans to do today. So I don't have to work on it during the day. It'll be just this evening for a few hours. And so that's really exciting. Okay, I have 2 more to talk about. And you may have noticed, wow, okay, it's kind of 3. I've been going on about bear paw. Okay, I've been going on about this for how long? Trying to make a decision about how to assemble the blocks. And I've made a decision. I am making them like this. I know that may disappoint some people who really liked the multicolor option, but I really love this. And the reasoning is I really liked having the different colors, but I didn't like the different sashing, the inner sashing with all of these being different as well. That was the only thing that held me back from doing the multicolored. So I will probably revisit this again because I absolutely loved making this, and it's still in progress, obviously, but it's such a fun one to hand sew, and it's very simple. It's just a great one to do. So I will be making another one of these. I can't say when. It could be next year. It could be 10 years down the road. I don't know when. But I will make another one, and I will do the multicolored, more scrappy look with a more cohesive background. So it'll be scrappy with a little bit of, I don't know, structure. Like, what would you call that? Not great with words today. So yeah, so there's that. And like I said, I wasn't feeling well. So I have, let's see, let's count them. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to leave this one out to talk about. 5, 6. I love this one. 7. So I was able to complete 7 blocks. And then I have let's see, 8, 9, 10. Okay, 7 completed and 3 more to finish. So this one needs put together still. And then I have these pinned up. There's that one. And this is more of an orange than the last one that was more of a red. And this one. This one's so pretty. I really like that. And these pins. I love these pins. They're so nice. And so let me show you the difference here now that I can. Now that the cat's out of the bag, let me show you the difference in the pins. And like I said, they're the same size, but these act as a smaller pin. So I'm just going to put one in here right next to the other one so you can kind of see the difference when it's in. And so, yeah, they seem smaller. They seem so much smaller. And I really like them a lot better. Definitely like them a lot better. So these are pinned up and ready to sew. Hello, Jagger. You want to come over here? No? He's going back downstairs. He's like, nope. He does not like change. Okay. So I wanted to talk about this block. And so you can see on this blue, these are pressed towards the darker fabric. But in the middle, see if I can do this where you can see it. You can tell these are pressed toward the lighter fabric. And I don't like that, but it had to be done. It was either press it towards the light fabric or have many, many very chunky, let's see, it would have been 2, 4, 6, 7 layers of fabric if I had pressed it the other way. And it still would have had a little bit on the light, but had I pressed it to the dark side, it would have had all this. So I pressed it to the light side, and the back looks really nice. And hopefully once the batting's in and the backing's on, you won't really be able to see it. But I have seen some quilts where you can see through that. So we'll just see what happens. But I wanted to kind of talk about that because typically you want to press towards the dark or press seams open. And I didn't want to press the seams open because of these big chunky spots. So this is nice and flat. And I don't know how I will quilt this yet, but if I were to have to go over a chunky spot, it won't be a big problem like it could be. Okay, what else I did on the bear paw? Yesterday I was feeling a lot better, so I did cut and match up the rest of the blocks. So all the fabric for the blocks are cut. Not the sashing, not the border, just the blocks. And so what I did here, now I had already had all the dark fabrics cut from the fat quarter bundle. But these I needed to dip into the other one. And I did open the other fat quarter bundle and I used those light fabrics first. So I needed a lot less than I thought. You could probably get away with an extra fat quarter of 4 more of these. Oh, maybe an 1/8 actually. No, I can't remember now. I think an 1/8 would work. But quarters are always nice. You have the extra in case you mess up. So I cut the rest of these and I matched them up how I want them. And I put them in a big stack. So these are ready to get marked and sewn. Alrighty, so that is the update on the bear paw. I did more this week than I thought, and I'm running out of time, and I have a lot more to talk about. Okay, cathedral windows. There is something going on here. Oh, this basket is heavy. Let me know if you have ever made a cathedral windows quilt, because wow, it's a lot of fabric and it's very heavy. Okay, so the debates. I am taking all of these out. I do love this. I do love this. I don't love it enough to keep continuing with it. So they're all getting taken out. I ordered new fabric to put in those. I'm really excited about it. And I will show you next week. I want to tell you so much what the plan is. But I'm going to leave a surprise for next week. So you'll have to come back next week to find out what is going to happen with the cathedral windows. Now, I did start sewing some more together. Obviously before I got my new pins. So I got a little section of that, ran out of thread and left it. This is just a long project. Okay, so story time. My son went to church with his friend last weekend. Was it last weekend or the weekend before? Anyways, and he loved it so much. Absolutely loved it. And he was supposed to go with them this week. That's the day it snowed. It snowed on Sunday. I couldn't remember if it was yesterday or Saturday. It was yesterday. Yesterday morning. And so because he was sick, he couldn't go. And then his friend's mom said, well, they stream it and it's a really small church. And it's a cowboy church in Pennsylvania. And I lived in Nebraska, like cowboy country, for 16 years and never heard of cowboy church. But apparently it's a thing all over the country. And so she said they stream it. And so we sat here and watched it. And while we were watching church, I drew lines on my cathedral windows. So I have a stack of these with lines now. When I say a stack, I mean a stack. Okay, and this is maybe a fourth of what I have in my basket. This project will take, this is half right here. Let me put them together the proper way so they don't get out of order. This is half of, oh, these are all wrinkled on the bottom. Okay. This is half of the basket of muslin that's cut. And I got some of those marked during church. And if you've never been to cowboy church, oh, I recommend it. And this one was so much fun. It's called Central PA Cowboy Church of the Nazarene, I think. And it's at a horse ranch. And it looks like it's just in their arena and you bring your own camping chair. And I'm actually really excited to go. Like, I want to go to church, and I am not a church person by any means. But my son loved it and he wants to go back. So yeah, so that's what I did during church. That's the first time I've been to church in, my gosh, that's a story for a whole nother podcast. Like, that story is a podcast in itself, like a whole podcast. Like, yeah. So anyways, years, lots of years, probably at least a decade. So yeah, here's that basket of Cathedral windows. These will get unpicked and new ones put in. And then let me put this back. So what I decided, and I have talked about this before, is that I wanted to make a Sunbonnet Sue quilt out of sunbonnet fabric. So this fabric is called Sunbonnet. Oh, guys, I'm sorry. This is going to be a very long one today. Okay. This is called Sunbonnet by Heather Briggs of My So Quilty Life. And I had bought a bunch of these charm packs. And I cut them in 4. And I made all these little squares. 2.5-inch squares. Because it's cheaper than buying the 2.5-inch, the mini charms. And I was going to use these all for Cathedral windows. Okay, well, I'm not. And so part of this, I did purchase, what did I get? I can't remember what I bought. Go figure. I want to say I might have gotten a jelly roll. See, I have a plan in my head, but I haven't written it on paper. And so I'm trying to remember what the plan is. And then I could remember what I bought. But I'll show it to you when it gets here. This is, wrong side. There we go. Just a little container. This project needs a basket. I do not have another basket. I have no more tins. I am out of things to put my projects in. Oh, I have some bigger bins. Maybe I'll use that. Anyways, so I think I got maybe a jelly roll. And I know I got the coordinates. Oh my gosh. I should have written this down. Oh my goodness. I have to look. I am so sorry. Give me one moment. Okay, I'm back. I got the Bella Solids coordinating fabrics for the Sunbonnet fabric line. And so those are just solids that'll go with it. And this project, it's also going to just kind of be on hold a little bit, but I had to get the idea out of my head. And so when that gets here, I will probably make one block or draw something out. I should probably get some colored pencils and graph paper so I can like get my ideas down and out of my head. Because I want this to be more of a traditional style, but also more modern in a way. And not the modern you think of, because I don't like the modern styles and stuff like that. That's not my thing. I do like a more traditional quilt. I wish I could explain it better, but we'll see eventually. So last night, I got the idea in my head and I had to just make one because I've been thinking about this a lot. And so I made up my own little templates. I went on Google and I looked at images and I couldn't find anything that was the size I needed because these are going to be put on 10-inch squares. I believe it's the colorway porcelain and it's a Bella Solid. And so these will go on the 10-inch squares. They're basically like a white. And then I'll have different, things with the blocks anyways. So it'll be my own pattern. And so last night I drew this up and I made it how I want it. And I really wanted something that looked very similar to Heather Briggs's My So Quilty Life fabric. And I didn't get any of the fabric, so I didn't trace this or anything. I didn't use anybody's pattern. I made my own pattern, basically. Even though it looks very similar, this is my own. So here it is. And she's so super cute. And I just love her to pieces. And so that is what's going to be used for the sunbonnet fabric. Now, I'm going to make Sunbonnet Sue's out of sunbonnet. So I'm really excited about this project. And again, this one will be later on. It'll be planned out now, but I probably won't work on it hardly at all for a long time. Maybe a little bit, we'll see. Because all I need is another project, right? Because I have so many going on already. All right, let me look at my notes because we're pretty much out of time. Okay, so the only thing left, which is good, and we won't have time for comments and questions today, but I really didn't get any over, with the holidays and everything. I didn't really see too many comments or anything. So, my weeks will probably be a little slower and more boring because I'm really gonna focus on the saltwater sampler and getting Georgetown finished. So if you would leave comments and questions, that would be awesome because it'll give me something to talk about on my next few videos while I'm just going hardcore to get those other projects finished in time. So leave some comments, questions, whatever. That would be great. Now, I have one more thing I would like to share with you. And I'm really excited about this because, as you know, I'm going to put up some more tutorials, and I don't want to promise a tutorial this week, but I want to say I would like to do a tutorial this week. But again, with what I need to get done, I'm not sure I'll have time for the next few weeks to do one. I'm going to try my hardest, but I'm not going to guarantee. What I am going to say is I will have a lot of tutorials in 2026 because I have a plan, kind of. I have a sort of plan. And this is my plan. And I ordered a bunch of reproduction fabric, 1930s reproduction fabric. And I'm going to work through this book and make videos on these blocks. And so I'm really excited about this because it'll be a weekly video. In addition to my quilting vlog, I will be doing tutorials on these blocks, which is great because a lot of them are blocks that you may already know. Some are not, some are. And so that's really exciting because we'll learn some new things. And I don't know if it'll be more tutorial style or more me talking through while making them, but I am going to show you how I make them, all hand pieced. I do not plan to do any foundation paper piecing. I'm not sure how I'm going to do the videos, but I do want to show you the process from start to finish. And so I may just talk while I'm making them, and I may do more tutorial style. So I don't know how the videos will be, but there will be a weekly video on the Farmer's Wife 1930s sampler quilt. So if you want to pick up this book, you can get it on Amazon. I got it on Amazon. I want to say Fat Quarter Shop carries it. It's a very common book, so you should be able to find it somewhere. And start collecting fabric because we're going to start this the first week in January. We'll have the first video out. And I'm going to go through all 99. And so we'll probably do 2 or 3 a week. Again, that's to be determined, but I would say probably at least 2 per week. And I'm just going to start in the beginning and go through it, and we're going to make it. We're going to make this quilt. So start collecting your fabric and get excited, and this will have its own playlist, and I will still be doing my weekly vlog And so we'll be doing 2 videos a week. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to this and I'm really excited. Leave a comment if you are planning to make this along with me, because that would be so much fun to have a bunch of people just making this together. So yeah, that's exciting. That's the plan, and I can't wait to start this. This is the 2026 project for me. So please make it with me. It'd be so much fun. Anyways, that's all I have for today. And sorry the video went so long, but I had a lot to talk about. So if you could like this video, please subscribe, share it. Definitely leave a comment if you're planning to make the quilt. And if you're planning to make the Farmer's Wife quilt with me. And then just leave some questions for me so I can answer them throughout December. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a good week.